Good evening. Thank you to Helen and the gang. They are back tomorrow from 2 o'clock. I'm Carl Woodward and welcome to Total Sport this Wednesday. Here with you until 10:30 because later on we'll have full exclusive local radio commentary from Anfield as Liverpool host Sunderland in the Premier League, hoping to make it back-to-back wins. You'll be able to hear that one on 95.8 FM, DAB and Freeview Channel 714 with Craig Higgins and Chris Coughlin. We'll hear from Chris this hour too. After 7 we'll hear from the likes of Arna Slot, Alexis McAllister and Emil Heskey ahead of kick-off at 8:15. But in this first hour, I'm joined by a couple of fans in the studio. Red Dave Comerford and Blue Lee McLean from Falcon Blues TV. We'll look ahead to tonight's game and look back at Everton's 1-0 win at Bournemouth last night with Lee. A result that moved David Moyes' side above Newcastle into ninth spot. We'll also hear from the manager and the match winner Jack Grealish between now and 7 o'clock. You can also get in touch by calling 0800 731 9333. Text us on 81333, starting your message with the word Mersey, and that's the same for WhatsApp too, 08000 321 333, and you can email sportcarlos@bbc.co.uk or tweet me at carlos1376 or BBC Mersey Sport.
Total Sport. BBC Radio Merseyside.
So good evening, Lee and David. How are you doing?
Evening, Carl. Very well. Hope you are too.
Yeah, and you'll be feeling very happy after last night.
Indeed,
a 1-0 win, comfortable 1-0 win, you could probably say, couldn't you?
I would say so, yeah. Despite not being at our best, it was quite comfortable. But I'm loving the bipolar blues at the minute. Absolutely.
But it's 3 wins out of 4, isn't it, as well? If you look at it that way.
It is. 3 wins. We're on a nice little run, going about things quietly without hitting top form just yet. So if we can get to January in sort of a similar position, then I'm more than happy with that.
Another clean sheet as well.
Yeah, another clean sheet for Pickford before the game. Obviously, a bit of a blow, and I didn't think I'd ever be saying that in terms of Michael Keane being out injured. But I thought we adapted really, really well. Jake O'Brien goes back to his preferred position at centre-back and produces probably his best performance in an Everton shirt. And I just thought the whole team defended. Another really classic, well-organised, stress-free, dare I say, away win. And our away record is just fantastic in the last calendar year under Moyes.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The away wins, when he first came in, that got Everton safe, didn't it, Ray? They're getting those crucial away wins, like at Nottingham Forest, for example. Yeah,
as I say, I think I've just read a stat there on the train on the way into town, Carl, where I think in this calendar year we've won 8 games away from home. I think this season our record is only bettered by Arsenal. And if you look back to 2024, we only won once away at Ipswich in a whole calendar year, as the equivalent of a season. So that away form, if you can pick wins up on the road, and these sorts of games where on paper you'd expect to win and you go and get them, it takes the pressure off your home form, and it's a good job because at home we're patchy, aren't we? It's all or nothing. It's either wins or we're getting battered at the minute.
That's the thing. The home form had been good, but those Tottenham and the Newcastle ones it doesn't sit right, does it? Those kind of results, because they had done all right at home, but either side of those 2 games.
Yeah, I mean the record overall is decent. I think before the Newcastle game, as I said, the home record was good. But yeah, slightly worrying the manner of those defeats against Tottenham and against Newcastle. Getting beat 3-1 and 4-1. I think bad starts, didn't really get going. And it's difficult because then you're playing in a stadium where you haven't got that history of dragging your team back into a game. I know we had the Palace result, which was really good, but it's about time we strung a couple of really good performances at home. Because we've had wins, but not with great performances. We've had a decent 45 minutes. I think Brighton, we were sketchy. We were lucky to be going in at 0-0, if you remember that opening day. Fulham, we were unconvincing. Palace, we were unconvincing. So it'd be nice to change that on Saturday and get a nice stress-free, comfortable home win for once.
Sean Dyche as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm known as not being his biggest fan, and that's to say the least.
And they went to Liverpool and won 3-0, but then they lost at home the other day, so they're not in the greatest of form either, are they, Forest?
No. When I saw that result at Anfield, and I know the Reds are struggling a little bit at the minute, but I thought, oh my words, we've got them coming up, and your mind immediately goes to the game on Saturday. But yeah, since then they've struggled a little bit, and there's no reason at all. I mean, Nottingham Forest at home, they've got some good players in forward positions, and Dyche will have them well organised, but they're a team we should be winning. Let's be honest, we should be beating Nottingham Forest at home, and I'd be disappointed if we don't.
And Dave Comerford, talking about Liverpool, Sunderland tonight. Now, normally when Liverpool are playing well, you'd think Sunderland at home, Anfield, a win, easy. But now, the way Liverpool are playing, I know they won on Sunday, and Sunderland are playing really well. It's not an easy game tonight, is it?
Absolutely not, no. And I was talking to my granddad on the way in, and he said, "Oh, Liverpool will win 3-0 tonight." And I'm like, yeah, last season, maybe that sounds like a reasonable prediction, but I'm like, where are you getting that level of confidence from? Honestly, listening to it. But yeah, I think basically with Liverpool now, they need to put themselves in a position where they regain like the trust of the fans to like go into a game like this feeling confident, because now you just don't know what Liverpool's going to turn up. Basically, is it going to be the sort of Liverpool of Sunday, or against Aston Villa or Real Madrid, or God forbid the Liverpool against Nottingham Forest or PSV?
The important thing is now, isn't it, a bit of consistency, get some results going, because they have got, if you look at it, they have got winnable games, haven't they, coming up? And there's so many points coming up over the festive period that Liverpool can move up there, because they're not that far behind, are they, really, the top teams, like top three?
Yeah, well, I'm one of those fans who doesn't look at the league table unless we've won. So on the rare occasions recently where we have won, I've looked at it and I've been like, wow, we're only 4 points behind Man City or Chelsea or whoever it is. And it makes you realise that, for me, there's basically one outstanding team in this league. There's a couple of good teams, and then there's a lot of decent teams. It's hard to place Liverpool within that group at the moment, but like you say, if you get a few wins, you're just going to surge right up the table. And the title is, I think, pretty much gone now for Liverpool. But, they can still, like you say, if they play anywhere close to their potential, they should be able to get top four, because I don't think behind Arsenal it is like the strongest league, although it seems to be loads of teams taking points off each other, so it's a little bit messy at times.
Lee, you're nodding along there. You look at the league, people say it's because the teams in, out of the top six have just got better, they could spend more money and the gap has closed, or do you think the league is poor? Is it a kind of mixture of both?
It's hard, isn't it? Because when Liverpool are running away with the league, me and all the other bitter Evertonians are saying it's just because the league's rubbish and stuff. So you've got to be careful. But I don't know. I've never seen a season like this. It's so congested. As I say, we're on the same points now. I didn't ever believe we would be heading into December, that we'd be stuck on the same points as Liverpool. But I think Everton are lucky to be in touch. Liverpool will be disappointed that they're only in touch still at this point of the season. So obviously you're looking at it from a different lens. But if I look at the teams above, I've mentioned on social media today, I think this is a massive opportunity for not just Everton but a number of teams this season to grasp the nature of this division and secure a European spot at the end of it. I don't think it would be within our reach currently, just because of the squad depth or lack of at Everton as it stands, and obviously that's not going to get any better heading into December and January with the AFCON. So I think it's imperative that Everton at least try to invest in January and make the most of this opportunity, because they may not come along often. Next year you may get a really strong, sort of more typical Premier League table where all the sides you'd expect to be up there are up there. So if Everton can sort of grasp that nettle, bring in a striker, address the full-back positions, then I think there's a real opportunity this year. But it's about staying close to those coattails now, between now and January, picking up those wins where we should pick up wins, because you look past Forest on Saturday, we've got Chelsea and Arsenal. And after that, it's quite a decent run, but with a depleted squad, and that's what's worrying me a little bit.
And do you think those David Moyes quotes about saying how they're not at the level at Newcastle, do you think that was a kind of hint to the owners a little bit as well? We need to spend money in January to
Well, I hope so.
European place.
I hope so, Carl, because listen, I was really disappointed with that. As a fan listening straight after the game, and I know managers are put in a position straight after a really poor performance, and they've had a mic thrust in the face, and sometimes quotes can be taken out of context. But I don't want to hear an Everton manager say that Newcastle are operating on a different level to us. They're not. They've got a slightly stronger squad than us, I would say, and they are maybe one or two transfer windows further along the process than Everton. But the league table doesn't lie. We're above them without hitting our stride ourselves, I would say. And even last season, we beat them comfortably away from home last season with arguably a worse squad. So I'm not accepting it that we're not operating at the same level as Newcastle, or that we've got to have a really good day and they've got to get an off day to win. I just thought it was a really poor performance. We didn't get going, and Newcastle took advantage, fair play to them, and they battered us on the day. And that can happen in the Premier League if you're not quite on it. But like you, I think now that the dust has settled, I think potentially that was a little bit of a nudge towards the board to say, listen, this squad's thin. And maybe Moyes has looked at it with his staff to say this is an opportunity this season, and if we are backed in January, then we could go places. So I hope it was a tactical quote.
And Dave, you talk about January. Liverpool have been linked with, Gahey, Semenyo as well. When Liverpool, or if Liverpool do get into form, that squad could do all right for the rest of the season. Could try and win Champions League. The league might be too far away. But do you think they do need to sign more players in January? They did buy quite a lot in August or in the summer.
They've put themselves in a strange position where they spend so much money, but they've made the squad less balanced. So it might be that they need to actually spend more to maybe correct some of the mistakes, not in terms of individual players, because I don't think any of the signings in particular were a mistake. I just think the accumulation of players in certain positions, I think they do need another centre back, whether it is Gay or not. My sort of instinct is that one won't happen now. I think that was possibly one for last summer, but I think they probably need another player in that position just because, even looking at how well Gomez played at the weekend, his injury record is a concern. Obviously, Leone's still very young and he's out for the season as well. The Semenyo one, I think maybe you look at it as, I'm not big on the idea of buying a player to replace Salah while he's at AFCON. Maybe you're looking at that more as a long-term successor kind of thing. And if Salah is now a little bit past his peak, maybe that's the kind of thing. But I think Liverpool can still finish in the top four with the squad that they have, definitely. I don't think they need additions for that. If they want to try and make some noise in the Champions League, maybe they do need to address a couple of positions. But it's difficult. I'd be surprised if there was business, unless the Semenyo release clause is something that they're very interested in. But I'd be surprised if there was business, just because the thing with FSG historically has been big spend every few years and then sort of go back into their shells a little bit until they feel like they need to address a couple of major areas again.
And we've seen injuries to Conor Bradley quite a lot and Jerry Frimpong as well. I've seen people say they need another right back, but you'd have so many right backs then, wouldn't you? But then can you rely on these players who are getting injured all the time as well?